Hello my guppies, I'm so happy to see you here today. I hope you're having a wonderful time. I have my helper that came to see me. This is a sweet little mermaid made for me by a fan, and you're going to help me tell the story today, okay? Do you want to go over and pick out something from the treasure shell? Okay, she's going to go over here and let's see what you find. Oh, today in the treasure shell we have this tiny little fish. This fish reminds me of a story from ancient China. It's called The Princess of the Tung Lake. Now the Tung Lake is found in Thailand, but I think Thailand was part of China at the time of this story. Are you ready to listen? Great. I'm going to put you right here. First, let me show you. Here is Thailand, right here. And you can see how China is all up here, so it could have been part of China long, long ago. Long ago in ancient China, there was a general fishing on the Tung Lake. He was on a giant ship and he saw the biggest fish he'd ever seen swimming right below the surface of the water. He took his bow and arrow and he shot that fish. His people on the ship pulled that great struggling fish up to the ship and they hung it from the mast, right with the arrow still in its back. One of the general's servants was a man named Chen, a young man who said, "Please, General, I hate to see this fish struggling so. Couldn't we release the fish back into the water?" The general said, "No, Chen, I caught that fish. It's the biggest fish I've ever seen. Why would I want to release it into the water?" "Oh, General, you don't want to see a creature in pain. You are known as the kindest general of all." Said the general. "And why would you deprive the lake of its greatest treasure? This magnificent fish must be a jewel in the land of Tung Lake." Said the general, and all the other servants took Chen's side and nudged. One said, "By the way, General, you're on vacation. It's not a war. You can chuck it back in the water." The general said, "All right, I will do it, but none of you can tell anyone, for I do not want to be known as weak." So Chen took that fish down from the mast. He cared for it so much that he put a bandage over the wound that was made by the arrow, and he released that mighty, mighty fish back into the water where it swam away. A year later, Chen was on the Tung Lake on a boat of his own, but all of a sudden he got caught up in a squall, which is the name of a storm on the lake. His boat swung round and round and started to capsize. He fell out of the boat and he just had to hang on to a bamboo crate until morning. All night he paddled around in the lake but couldn't find the shore. Finally, when the sun came up, he saw an overhanging branch. He grabbed hold of the branch and struggled himself up onto the shore. He was so tired he just lay down on the sand and the dirt, and he didn't hear anyone for hours. Finally, he heard the galloping of horses. And just as he hopped behind a tree to hide, he saw the most beautiful woman he'd ever seen riding by, magnificently on her steed, with a crown made of pheasant feathers and a bow and arrow. As he started to step out to see who she was, he heard more galloping, and on came her entourage, lots of other people, all of the people in her hunting party who also had magnificent horses and bows and arrows. Well, Chen thought, what land is this? I've never seen a place like this. And he started to follow them. Of course, they were on horses, so they went a lot farther. But he climbed over hills and mountains. He saw streams, till finally he came to a place, a beautiful palace on a hill with a great, great wall all around it. And it had a big red door at the front of the gate. He crept up, he opened the door. He looked in and he saw a gorgeous courtyard. He could smell the flowers right away. Daphne and jasmine and other beautiful smelling things. White ginger, gorgeous smelling flowers. He crept in and he saw elm trees and weeping willows and other beautiful trees. The grounds were so well groomed, he didn't know what to think. He knew he was in the place of someone magnificent. Well, he heard some voices and he hid behind a bush. It was the hunting party he had seen on the shore. The Empress came in and her servants came in and they fed her tea, and they were so beautiful. It was like glittering embroidery everywhere, all the people walking around with their fabrics. After the Empress had her tea and laughed with her attendants, she came over to a swing that Chen hadn't noticed before. The swing went clear up as high as he could see. He couldn't even see the end of the ropes. The princess got on that swing and she swung back and forth clear up into the clouds. Can you imagine how much fun that would be? And it would take a long, 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 long time to swing back and forth up into the clouds. The Empress, soon tired of swinging, she and her entourage got all together. They wandered away somewhere in the courtyard or back to the palace. Chen was so mesmerized by what he'd seen, he just came out and started walking toward them when all of a sudden some guards grabbed him. "What are you doing here?" Never mind, come to the prison." The guards grabbed Chen and they threw him in the prison underneath the palace. He was there all that day and all that night and into the next morning. Poor Chen, he was cold. He didn't have anything to eat. He was shivering and he thought, surely they will arrest me and they may kill me for thinking I'm spying on this beautiful princess. The guards came in at noon and they grabbed him and they said, "Come with us, you're coming to the court." Chen shook in his feet as he watched that beautiful princess, and he knew that these might be his last moments, for surely she would condemn him to die. He had his head hanging low. The princess looked at him and said, "Oh, please excuse the rudeness of my guards, and please accept my love and gratitude forever." Chen looked up and he said, "Oh, why, princess, why would you ever say that to me?" The princess said, "Last year, I was swimming along the surface of the lake and I was wounded in the back. You saved me, and you cared so much for me that you even put a bandage on me and got me well. For that, I shall remain your friend forever." Well, Chen thought that was pretty cool. He got to stay there with the Empress, and they laughed and they talked, and he met all the attendants. They ate beautiful food. She gave him wonderful clothes. But about 3 days later, he thought, my people in my village are probably worried about me. I have a family at home and I know they are afraid. They might think that I've died. The Empress said, "Oh, I want you to live with your humans. Please live with your human family. I don't want to take you away, but I will make it possible that you can live here at the same time." Well, who wouldn't want that? Chen was so excited, and when he went to his village, the villagers were so surprised to see him riding on a stupendous horse, carrying wonderful boxes of jewels and gold, and he had on wonderful, beautiful clothing. For the rest of his life, Chen was able to make a gorgeous home for his wife and his children, but he was also happy to go visit the Empress. He told everyone about his adventures, but no one believed him. One day, a fellow villager named Liang was on the Tung Lake rowing his boat when suddenly there appeared a mighty, mighty barge with carved wood and red windows. Liang hurried up to the barge and he looked in and he said, "Why, Chen, is that you?" For he could see Chen eating and drinking and having fun with the Empress. Chen said, "Yes, it's me, Liang, come aboard." And the Empress said, "Come and have something to eat." Chen introduced Liang to all his friends and he said, "Well, I thought you were at home. What are you doing?" And Chen said, "I have told everyone about my life on Tung Lake. Don't be surprised, it's all true." Well, Liang was happy to be there for several hours and he ate as much as his big belly could hold. Then he got back in his boat, he rowed home, and he couldn't wait to tell the other villagers what he had seen. But as he opened the door to the tavern, who did he see but Chen? Chen was there drinking and laughing with his friends. Liang did a double take. "Well, but you were, Chen said, "What's wrong, Lang?" And he said, "I just saw you on Tung Lake with the Empress." Chen said, "I've been here all day." And all his friends said, "That's right. He's been eating with us all day. He hasn't left our side. In fact, he paid for all the drinks." Chen just said, "I told you so." Liang thought that was really funny. But he knew the truth even if no one else did. Chen lived to be 80 years old, and then when he passed away, the pallbearers lifting up his coffin felt like it was really light. They set it down, they opened it up, and all they saw was a little bit of seaweed and some water in the bottom of the coffin. Lang was there and he said, "It looks like the Princess of Tung Lake has done her final bit of magic." And that's the end of the story of the Princess of Tung Lake. Thanks for listening today. And remember, there is no place on earth I'd rather be than with you underneath the sea.